Hello class, my name is Miss Cooney and today we're going to be learning about Daniel Goleman, and I know you've all learned some power achievement skills, so let's start practicing. When I say class, you say yes. Class?
Yes.
Class?
Yes.
And then Daniel Goleman's biggest thing is emotional intelligence. So when I say emotional, you say intelligence. Emotional?
Intelligence.
Emotional?
Intelligence.
When I say pen, you say state? Pen?
State.
It's my own pumpage. All right. So, what have we learned so far about theorists and psychologists? IQ tests don't really work. They're normally biased. They're normally geared towards what the person that made up the test wanted to define intelligence as. So, we need to find a way to measure intelligence that encompasses all spectrums of knowledge. So, I'm going to start by doing a little thing called the marshmallow test. And since it's almost Halloween, I'm not using marshmallows, I'm using candy because it's cheap. So if we can all take one item from the bag and pass it around. And the thing about this is you can either eat your treat now or wait till I'm done teaching and then you might get a surprise. So depending on whether you eat it now or wait, I'll be able to tell you a little bit about yourself. So, a little bit about Daniel Goleman. He went to Berkeley, Amherst, and Harvard. He studied anthropology, sociology, psychology, meditation, and stress arousal. And what did you really learn from all these degrees in all these colleges? Powerful concentration amplifies the effectiveness of any activity. Who'd have thought? If you concentrate on something, you'd probably do better at it. So, emotional intelligence is defined as the self-perceived ability to identify, assess, and control. Let's do that together. Identify, assess, and control. Okay, what are we identifying, assessing, and controlling? The emotions of ourselves, others, and the group. So, we are trying to identify, assess, control the emotions of ourselves, others, and the group. Oh, you got it great. We have a little thing here called extra credit and extra credit. And every time that you participate, you get a point. Every time you slack, I get a point. So, thank you for participating. All right, so in the emotional intelligence, he said that non-cognitive skills can matter as much as IQ for workplace success and leadership. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you're smart or educated or all that. That's great for leadership, but it's also important that you have emotional intelligence. It's going to make you a better leader, a better organizer, a better coach, just all around better if you have both like good knowledge and this emotional intelligence. So he also said that the range of what we think and do is limited by what we fail to notice. And what we fail to notice, and because we fail to notice what we fail to notice, there's little we can do to change it until we notice how failing to notice shapes our thoughts and deeds. What does that mean? So basically that's saying that we, like, ourselves, like, don't really notice things. Like, we don't pay attention to things, and how would we pay attention to those things if we're not used to paying attention to those things? You need to take yourself away and look at it from a bigger picture, get perspective from others, and you're not really going to grow until you do that. So, he made this thing called the Emotional and Social Inventory Test. And it is used for self-awareness, which is like a gut feeling, self-management, which is being able to adapt to change, social awareness, being able to sense, understand, and react to situations, and relationship management, in which you're supposed to inspire, influence, and develop others while managing conflict. So he used this test, promoted it to all these big companies to use to gauge, their professional leaders, team members, just anybody within their company if they're using these skills, if they have these skill sets. So he wanted to raise awareness through feedback, focus on coaching and developing crucial capabilities, and then bring out the best in those individuals and teams. So it's not just if you're smart based on an IQ test, it kind of depends on if you have these skills too. And then some critiques that he has gotten for his work. people have said that it only measures personality, knowledge, and general intelligence, and not actual ability. My thoughts on that, well, there's so many intelligence tests out there. They all, test a range of different parts of the human mind. What's another one going to hurt? Predictions are too extreme. I feel like in most cases, if you're going to develop an IQ test, your predictions kind of have to be extreme, because otherwise you're not going to get noticed. And self-report is susceptible to faking. That's saying if you're going to take a test about yourself, chances are you're going to lie to make yourself look better, because you know what answer they're looking for. So that I totally agree with. And that is Daniel Goleman. Does anyone have any questions about emotional intelligence? Yes, Brent.
I have one question. Like when you were talking about groups and with a company trying to find out specific tasks people will be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
Does that have anything to do with some businesses have not that, what's it called?
Human resources?
Yeah, human resources. Is that kind of
Right. So if I were
an
HR rep for a company, and I have 6 people from Harvard, they all have 4.0s. They're all perfectly set up for the job, but this one kid stands out because he's a good leader. He's very self-aware. He can manage himself. He can manage relationships with others. He has all those skills that need to be a leader, and that would all categorize under the emotional
intelligence.
Yeah, so it's just being able to stand out not only based on your knowledge, but also on your leadership skills and just emotional intelligence and capabilities.
This reminded me of HR for some reason.
Yeah.
I was like,
all right, so to the marshmallow test. This test was used in elementary kids where they were each given a marshmallow at the beginning of the class, and the professor says, "I'm leaving, and when I come back, if you can wait, I'll give you more marshmallows." And based on that, it's kind of looking at delaying gratification. So if they found that the kids that would wait for the marshmallows actually would be more successful because they were willing to delay gratification, wait for good things to come, being patient. And I'm not saying that because you ate your candy, you're not going to be successful, but if you are willing to wait, and the example for this would be going to college. A lot of my friends from home didn't go to college and they have good jobs now, so right now it's they're all making $22 an hour in the factories back home, and that makes me jealous because I'm $120,000 in debt. But when I get out of college, I'm going to have a better job. The plants are all closing down. They're all getting laid off, and then I'm going to, rise above them. So it's kind of like delaying gratification, putting off making money so that you can make more later.
So you get more candy.
So if you waited, you get more candy.
What if you found a loophole? Technically, I still have my candy.
You can have more candy. Thanks, guys.
Hey.